How's it going, everybody? I was in the shop today and figured I'd film a quick video of this guy right here. This is Norinco NS522, and this was my silhouette white rifle I built specifically for silhouette. Going back a couple of years ago, it was actually the first rifle I used in my silhouette match. And it's nothing like one that you'd see. I've done extensive work to this one just for fun. I bought this rifle used quite a few years ago with a goal of $500 to compete in silhouette. And so with rifle and scope, I came in at $500. And here's some of my scores dating to February 2014, 12, 14, 16, and 22 on my first ever silhouette match with this rifle. So it's got a little bit of history for me. The Norinco rifle is pretty interesting because Norinco made this rifle with a super match chamber, and I say super match because it's one of the tightest chambers I have. Although they don't designate it as that, it's extremely tight and won't chamber many different brands of ammo, including all CCI. Forget it, just can't even close the bolt handle, much more so than my Anschutz. People refer to it as kind of a clone of an Anschutz, and so it does have some similarities. So here's the bolt of the Norinco, and here's the bolt of my Match 54. And you can see there's some slight similarities there. But there's some major differences as well. Now, one is a single shot, and one is a repeater, of course, but they're not really super identical. This rifle was shipped to the States originally as a barreled action during the Clinton administration, and there was some trouble with Chinese imported arms, and so the rifle and the stock had to be, or the action and the stock had to be imported separately. So the stock is actually, the reason it looks so weird is I've inlaid some aluminum here, but it was originally for a sub-model, the Norinco EM332, I believe it was, which is the sporter version. It doesn't have this nice heavy barrel hammer forged. The story on this one, like when I did my research on this one going back, almost 10 years, was Norinco at the time purchased some older tooling from Steyr as they were upgrading their factory, and they literally bought an entire factory worth of used Steyr equipment, shipped it to China, and started making some higher quality firearms, including some Olympic match rifles. And this was one of the ones that they made. The problem with it is, although the barrel is definitely a highlight, one of the nicest feeling and looking Norinco barrels, actually it's probably overall, it's a beautiful spiral hammer forged. I don't know if the camera could pick that up, but this rifle was so rough. Like, the barrel is gorgeous, and then look at the dovetail. Looked like a drunken beaver hacked that out. And the stock was an ill-fitting stock to begin with, so it was spaced out with washers, and the cutout for the bolt handle was this weird rectangle, and so it took extensive work on it to get it to where it is now. It actually turned out to be one of the most accurate sporting rifles I've ever owned, and is definitely match level. I did a lot of work on the trigger to turn it where it is, and it's in the single-digit ounce level, although that took a long time of trial and error. I had to custom make some parts. I'll actually link a thread I started on one of Canadian gun sites about this rifle for those who are interested in the description. You can check out some of the work I did. I got some pictures of some of the mods that I've done. It's actually quite a good resource that the thread turned into a lot of information. At this time, this rifle is quite obscure. So I made a custom extended mag release for it because the other one was kind of sharp and inset out of aluminum. You can kind of see it there, right there. The mags on this particular one are 5-shot. They're very well made. At the time, they were very rare. I think they still are too, but I think there's a new model that Norinco's come out with now, the Scorpio, that has a 10-shot, and they can be easily modified to fit and solved a lot of problems for people. The rifle is very robustly made and extremely accurate for what it is. However, it is very rough around the edges. And so if you can get over that and it doesn't bother you, you can see the beefy receiver there. Super beefy. Like, it's a very, very hefty rifle, but just they missed so much by the fit and finish, which I think a lot of Chinese rifles were plagued with. I know, like, I talk about it all the time, being from an airgun background. That's one of the first places that, I'm going to try to put this back in here, you'll find it. But anyway, the bolt travel is, and like, I have put tens of thousands of rounds through this rifle. It still is like indexy. And I made this, you know, aluminum bolt handle to help with the cycling on it, but you can see some of the chatter on top after all these rounds. So with the, you know, the firing pin depressed, it is possible to cycle it with your finger. Throw is super nice and short, but it is still stiff. But other than that, this rifle is a winner. So I wanted to highlight it because, like, this one is unique because I did so much work to it, and just for fun, the aluminum insets that I've done. And I think my point to this video to highlight this one is if you do come across one, don't hesitate to get it. I know now they're trading quite high prices up here in Canada because the people who have them know their accuracy. And a little bit of work, actually a lot of work, they'll turn into a fine rifle. This one easily outshoots my 64 Anschutz. It's pretty close to a match barrel CZ, meaning an aftermarket match barrel CZ. That's how accurate this gun is. And I'm not even kidding. So, you know, I won't call it a joy to own because it's been nothing but work to own this rifle and to get it to the point where, hey, I enjoy shooting this. And like, I have not shot this rifle. One of my sons shot it recently and complained that the feeding was rough on it, because it is. It still doesn't feed smoothly. It's work to shoot this gun. You're rewarded with accuracy, but that's about it. The looks aren't there, but the accuracy is there, which normally wins in my book. So anyway, I thought I'd share it. It's one of the reasons it doesn't leave the house often. Every time I pull it out and I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I had a lot of good times with this rifle. And then I remember why I moved on to nicer made rifles, because the whole experience is better. Nicer made rifles have the accuracy and the experience. This rifle just has the accuracy. Anyway, I thought I'd share. Absolutely, I'd still pick up one again. It was a lot of fun. I'll link that thread that I started and maybe a couple of others for those who are curious and interested about learning about one of these, and maybe you can find one yourself. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching.